Hi, this is the Be Well with Michelle Greenwell podcast. Our heartwarming conversation is designed to lift you on your wellness journey. Grab your cup of tea and enjoy the podcast. Welcome to the third episode of Resonance Rising. I'm Michelle Greenwell, and I'm so excited to have Anne Smets and Anne-Marie Boudreau with me again and be able to bring you forward with this third episode, Living Forward and Purpose Without Pressure. This episode is a special part of the trilogy that we've been bringing forward for you about vitality, spiritual growth, planetary healing, and using sound and frequency to do that. In episode 1, we discovered that you are an instrument. Episode 2, we explored how we come into coherence with others. And today we're going to expand into something even greater and some experiential opportunities. This episode is Living Forward, Purpose Without Pressure. All right. I want to give you a little bit of an opening reflection just to get you started and into the space today. Purpose is often treated like something we need to find, a destination, a role, or a definition. But what if purpose is not something you're going to chase, but it's something that naturally emerges when you're in alignment? When the past is no longer dominating your nervous system, what happens when the present feels safe, embodied, and real? Purpose begins to express as joy, creativity, curiosity, meaningful contribution, and purpose becomes stabilizing rather than stressful. So as you're thinking a little bit about what that might mean in your life, I want to introduce with a little bit of a bio for our two guests in case this is the first episode you're listening to rather than the third. So Anne Smets is an intuitive multidimensional practitioner whose work bridges embodied awareness, Taoist healing arts, energy medicine, and soul-led guidance. She helps people explore the deeper patterns underlying stress, emotional tension, energetic imbalance, and physical dis-ease by working with the body, the nervous system, subconscious, and the energy field as one integrated system. Her work supports profound release, greater inner stability, and a deeper return to who we truly are. Thank you, Anne, for all the fun we've had over the last few months. It's been so great.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you for having me. It's been amazing. And also to be sharing with Anne-Marie. It's the cherry on the cake.
Anne-Marie Boudreau is a vocal facilitator and sound practitioner who empowers individuals to explore their authentic voice as a pathway to healing and self-expression. Through toning, sound release, and vibrational practices, she supports the body's natural ability to restore balance and flow. And in the previous episodes, you'll have listened to some of the different ways that Anne-Marie uses the voice. And in episode 2, we were talking about her work with palliative care and grief. So if that's something of importance, please make sure you go back. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for being here as well. It's been so much fun to play.
Absolutely. It's been lovely to share in the journey with both of you lovely ladies on this podcast. They've been great. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. All right. Together, these two powerhouses are going to help us balance presence and focus, bring in sharing and inspiration, and help us with connection and empowerment on a global scale today. Before we can begin, we want to set you up for your healing opportunity with this podcast. So we invite you to grab your glass of water, a cup of tea, or your coffee, and infuse it today with the energy that we're bringing forward around herbs and water. So Anne, what have you prepared today? Oh, you're muted still there.
That helps. I charged my glass of water with my intention and the Ankh frequency of my Ankh, for unity consciousness. So love and peace for all listening.
Wow, beautiful. For those that are listening, Anne held up a special geometrical shape that's made out of metal. And so that's what she used over and through the water to create that vibrancy within her water. Perfect. Anne-Marie, what have you got today? And you're muted.
I have some orange spice in my cup. I do love the fruit flavors, and the orange spice sort of zings out in the morning, which is really lovely and refreshing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that orange zing is a little bit of what I've got in my rooibos today. So I'm going to share with you from the Cape Breton Tea Company. I chose the Mission for Change Community Tea. This tea I so love because anytime I'm meeting with a group, I choose this tea for the intention that's on the side of the package. In community, we are empowered for change. And change happens when we're supported and when we find that group that helps us to just live easily with that change. So I'm highlighting it using the two herbs. There's a lot of herbs in the tea blend, but I chose peppermint and rooibos. And those because they're very common and people are familiar with them. But I want you to look at them a little bit differently today. By combining peppermint and rooibos, we create a synergistic spiritual essence that brings active mental stimulation with grounded, heart-centered nurturing. And you're going to feel that in frequency today. And this is a formula for conscious, empathetic global change, how we can move beyond us feeling well and being confident in who we are and to what we need in the world. Peppermint is our active transformation. It acts as an agent for change by stimulating the mind, uplifting the senses, and clearing negative energy. It provides a sharp, refreshing clarity that assists with emotional transition and intellectual engagement, and it's acting as a catalyst for action. The other side, the next ingredient, is rooibos. It's a grounding and nurturing ingredient. Rooibos functions as an embrace with the ground, anchoring the spirit, encouraging stability through warm, nurturing energy, and it aids in healing through comfort, reducing stress and tension, fostering a connection to the earth. The combined essence of these two is active, conscious, and comforting change. Sometimes change can be uncomfortable, but by sipping away with these herbs, we can actually just easily flow to the next, and it's a great way to anchor. Our spiritual application of this is helping the mind to turn towards a more respectful, rhythmic way of being, allowing for mental clarity, that's the peppermint, to be paired with the heart-centered compassion of rooibos for personal and global healing. All right, that sets the stage for everyone. I'll say cheers, Slange from Cape Breton Island. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, that feels just so beautiful today. Now, I want to do one more little thing to set the stage for our conversation. I want to go back to some of the research that Lynn McTaggart has done with the intention experiments. Now, these have gone on for decades. She has dove deep. She's a journalist who's dove down into what does intention mean. And in that process, she became a researcher and a researcher on a global scale. In 2007, she had a groundbreaking book, The Intention Experiment, and she started to look at the ongoing project of investigating how focused collective human thought can interact with the quantum energy field to produce tangible effects on our physical world. Based on these studies from researchers at institutions like Princeton and Stanford, it showed that there was a palpable, measurable energy that can heal and affect plants and influence distant targets. Now, that sounds kind of out there. What are distant targets? But And Lynn was able to go in to some of the war zone areas, and with their intention experiments, they were able to produce an effect where either a ceasefire happened or resolution was found. And this is a profound piece for a global connection. So I wanted to bring that forward as we're thinking about our personal lives. How can our personal lives support all the things that are going on in the world? We can. And when we work together, we have this incredible power when we set the intentions. So some of the key things that came out of the intention experiment. So there was scientific backing. Researchers were studying the impact of intention, and it was in quantifiable targets. It does work. There was a global laboratory. McTaggart coordinated large-scale web-based experiments where participants were focusing on very specific distant targets, so other countries. The documented results were the experiments indicated positive results, such as if they were focused on plants, they were getting plants to grow in areas that were having difficulty, influencing outcome of events like ends of wars, as I was sharing, but also healing sessions for people. And that's when she brought in her group of 8. And they would focus on one person in the group of 8 and provide all the healing to that person. And the outcome was there was healing across all 8. So this leads us to the personal applications of how individuals can work with those intentions in group settings and create big changes. Her connection was to the quantum field, showing that our implied thoughts have a direct impact on our environment. So how we live our lives personally does make a difference globally. And we have to keep that in mind if we're living in anger or fear, anxiety, having trouble coping with some of those larger events going on. All right, I wanted to have that little bit in there to set the stage for where we want to go today. And we're going to look at the microcosm to the macrocosm. So from inside us out into the world. And Anne and Anne-Marie are going to help us journey through this in a very experiential way with the tools and the opportunities they've gathered in their studies. And as we move into that, I just wanted each of you to have the opportunity now to share a little bit about the idea of the microcosm to the macrocosm, and how the sound and frequency connects us to something greater. And do you want to make a comment first?
Yes, well, thank you for that great introduction. I think that's fascinating and has to be shared more, these foundings of Lynn McTaggart, because it's so important these days. And that's also what I always like to stress on. Of course, we all want to help and change the world, but if we start by just looking at ourselves and change our microcosm first, only then can it explode and go over in the macrocosm, the bigger part. And what I find fascinating is the fact when I started to study the human beings more, to find out that basically we're all made of, how I call it, the stardust. And once we get an understanding of that, our capture of that everything is connected can become so much more clear. So what do I mean that we all are made out of stardust? Is that basically we're made literally out of the same materials that were found in the cosmos, that also scientists have studied. So only they're compromised in our human body. And if we're looking at that, every atom in our body was formed in basically through stars and stellar substances. And I can just quickly list a few of these atom substances. We've got the hydrogen and the helium, and these were born in the Big Bang. So we carry that part in us. Then we've got carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, these were created in the stars. So way back then, we all were star children. We came from stars. We were just light beings. We also have our iron and the heavier metals. So these are forged in supernova explosions and then landed in our waters and ultimately in the earth. So not just are we cosmic, but we also very connected with the earth because we carry those elements as well. And when we find that frequency, that it can all be interconnected, we just finally can uncover our own superhuman potential, because we only know of a fraction of what we are capable of. And that's how I like to look at it, and want to take my part in also bringing that to the awareness of everybody who is ready to hear it, because I think it's super important.
I'm fascinated when you start realizing where all of those pieces came from. And it's, we don't think about that inside our own bodies, but how astounding, as we just have our rocket that just is going around the moon at this time, and to think about they're heading back out into the space and where we all came from. It's just so beautiful. Yeah.
And we'll go back to ultimately as well.
Exactly. Anne-Marie, would you like to share a little bit from your perspective?
Yes, and that was a wonderful perspective, Anne. Thank you for that. So just to add to layer onto that, there's another perspective of if we think of the microcosm being our body, and like Anne was saying, we are all stardust. But to present it in a little bit of a different way, if we think of our inner body, each organ has its own natural resonance. And I know Anne spoke to some of this before in the other podcasts. But when they're all in tune, everything is in tune within the body, they play beautifully like a symphony. And so you think of when we want to bring ourselves into natural resonance, we work with sound, and which we'll move into further today. But to connect it to the macrocosm, there's a concept called music of the spheres or harmony of the spheres. And that was introduced many years ago by Pythagoras. And it says that each planet has its own resonance as well. And though it's not audible, there was a 16th century astronomer, Johann Kepler, who felt that it could be heard by the soul. So I think it's that stardust connection that speaks to us through all of the wonderful planets as they resonate in the frequency out in the universe. We have all of that universe contained within our body. So that's that microcosm and that macrocosm comparison. But I wanted to add on to that, the concept of the music of the spheres was an idea that continued to appeal to scholars and influenced many schools of thought, including humanists. And in the early 21st century, humanism is generally denoted as being a focus on human well-being and advocating for human freedom, happiness, autonomy, and progress. And so humanism, and that means understanding the concept that we are all human living in an experience on this planet together, brings us into that concept that we truly are one. So when we look at it from the microcosm right out to the macrocosm, we are stardust, and we are stardust, living a human experience here on Earth.
Okay. The richness of the content just keeps going up. It's just so amazing. Wow. Okay. So with the understanding that both of you just shared, if we look at what this means to sound and frequency, can we just have a little comment about the role that sound and frequency brings into that? Anne-Marie, maybe do you want to start with that?
Yes. Well, through the frequency and sound of Om, which is a Hindu mantra, they believe it created the universe. So when we think of even the creation of the universe, in the beginning there was the word. In the beginning there was Om. There was a sound, or there was a frequency that created the starburst of the heavens. And so the more we bring that and anchor those universal sounds within us, we start to resonate with the frequency of the universe. And so this is something that has been played out within Hindu tradition with their work with mantras and chanting as well. And that ties in with the work about Lynn that you were speaking about, Michelle. And that is, we need to be able to bring intention into whatever it is that we are working with. So thinking of Dr. Emoto's work with water and sending prayers and blessings to the water, that brought about a dramatic change. And we can do this within the waters of our own bodies when we chant. And so, for example, we introduced in the first podcast that we did together, the Bija mantras, and they energize each of the chakras of the body. And I know that there are other aspects that we're going to be bringing in today for you to have a chance to practice with as well in your own homes.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. And is there anything you want to add about frequency and sound? Ooh.
Yes, so, well, first off, how we experienced in the previous episodes, I very much like to work with the healing sounds for the organs, like Anne-Marie said, because we can bring a nice balance that way. Another way, how we can really also bring in that cosmos, that cosmic sound that Anne-Marie was explaining so beautifully, that each planet really has its own sound frequency. That I like to bring in by using the tuning forks. I will try to hold it in front of the camera as well. So we have tuning forks, and they exist with the different vibrations. So the one I have here is the Om frequency, the 136.1. But you have also tuning forks with the frequencies of the different planets. So we can really bring that into our own home, in our own room, and bring that way the reality closer to us, so that we start to remember exactly who we are and where we came from.
Oh, my goodness. And I was thinking about tuning forks are often, that I'm familiar and have played with, is just individual notes rather than so much planetary frequencies. And I know the gongs also have the planetary frequencies. So being able to sit within in that as well can be so empowering. Okay, beautiful. So let's move over to some of the experiential. So what I'm going to do is just do a little guided reflection about being in the symphony of the universe. And then I'm going to let these two lovely ladies take it away to take you on a journey with sound. So as we think of the symphony of the universe, if you just sit comfortably where you are, maybe you can lower your eyes, maybe you want to close them. If you're driving, then listening and paying attention to the road, but just think about your role within the universe. When we look at the Earth from space, there are no boundaries, no divisions of country or culture, just one living, breathing planet. And beyond that, a universe in motion. Each planet, each star, holding its own frequency, a symphony of existence. And within that symphony, we are not separate, we are participants, and we are anchors. So with that in mind, I would now invite Anne-Marie to come forward. I think you were going to explore a little bit about the Tibetan bowls for us.
Tibetan bowls are amazing instruments. that are melded together, 7 different metals. And the depth of the sound, you can hear a little bit of it there, brings us deeply into the earth of our bodies. And so I want to do a little bit of a sound exploration using these Tibetan bowls. So again, I invite you to sit back and close your eyes, and we'll move into connecting with the earth. So imagine the deep resonance of the Tibetan bowls moving through the body, being a grounding vibration as it's played. So here we go. So we're connecting with that earth in our bodies. And I want to now move into a different type of experience, connecting with the earth of our bodies. And that is through a group chant. When we actually work with a group chant and we set intention with it, we raise our energy exponentially. And this is something that they do in India, and what's come forward in the West are kirtans. So a lot of people may have heard of kirtans, when groups of people meet together and they work with sacred chant to raise their energy for themselves. And then the benefit is that it moves out into their communities and out into the world. So I wanted to introduce to you a beautiful African chant. Azima is what it's called. It's one word, Azima. So I learned this from Michael Meade, who's an American mythologist who sings and teaches with African chants from specific ethnic groups. And they're used to ground the listeners and connect them to the earth. And one of the most prominent examples is Azima, which I'll be sharing with you shortly. Meaning of the word is that it is to praise the earth within us, to praise the earth beneath our feet, to connect deeply with the earth. But the second meaning is to praise the place the earth resides in within the universe. So actually connecting with that universal energy, thanking that universe which holds the earth so beautifully. And then, of course, the planet of the earth, which holds all of our humanity and humans so beautifully. So when this chant is used, it's meant to foster healing and gratitude and a sense of hidden abundance for the soul as well. So I wanted to acknowledge that the origin of the song Azima was obtained from Melodoma Somé, who is a wonderful, who was actually, he's passed away since, was a wonderful, wonderful leader within his traditions of the Dagara people of Burkina Faso. And he has a quote which was quite beautiful I wanted to share. And it says, "This spark of the ancestral flame, which I brought to the land of the stranger, is now burning brightly." So I wanted to acknowledge Melodoma Somé for bringing this chant to us to be able to use. So the whole purpose of the chant is as a ritual to help us as individuals settle and to ground ourselves and access that ground of being, especially during times of extreme turmoil and political chaos. So getting ready, I want you to unlock your knees and sit up straight, which I will do too. And it's about joining into the chant whenever you want, or simply enjoying the aspect of taking in the vibrations as a nurturing energy sent intentionally as well. So, Azima, it is a one-word song, and I'll repeat it a few times. And at some point, if not today, maybe when listening to the podcast again, you can try this for yourselves. Azima woe, 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 Azima woe. Connecting with the earth in our bodies. May you feel more deeply grounded through the journey.
That felt so beautiful to sing. And I could feel, I know with Om, you can, you feel that, which I know we'll do, but it had that same beautiful resonance. Lovely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful one. So I love working with that one and really honor the journey that brought it to us to use. Well-being.
Beautiful. Did you want to share the next one as well?
No, that was the one all I had or we can work with the Om. Yes, absolutely. So Om, again, is a Hindu mantra, and it's a sound embodiment of cosmic energies, as we talked about before. And it's considered to be the birth sound of the universe. So there is no actual meaning, but there's a huge vibratory benefit. So that vibrational energy carries us above our daily worries and helps us to bring out the extraordinary inside of us. So working with mantras really help to ground as well, to focus inward and achieve deeper levels of meditation. So it is a powerful tool of transformation. And so I wanted to really bring in this Om so that people could have a sense of how simple chant could be and how wonderful the benefits are as well. So bringing up my Shruti box again. We work with the chant Om. It's one word, O-M. But how it's worked with vocally in the mouth, it's you go through the vowels. Ah, O, So, ow is how it's actually pronounced when you're working with deep chant work. So again, just sitting back in your chair, closing your eyes, either drinking in the sound or working with the sound if you want to as well. Just sitting in the vibration of that chant reconnects us with that universal energy. So much so I know for myself, I really have that feeling of we are one through this work.
All right, Anne, now that we're zenned out.
Let me wake up.
I was also going to mention that I actually have an Om chant recording on Bandcamp, and I did it with an Nada Yoga practitioner, a guru, and we actually chant Om. We work with the male and the female voices to chant Om for almost an hour on this tape. So if you want to reside and sit in that place, I'll give the link to Michelle, and she can add it on to the information she shares after the broadcast.
Perfect. And so that's on Bandcamp. And is it under your name as well?
Yes. ANN-MARIE Boudreau 1 bandcamp.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Just in case people don't see something, at least then they've got that verbal piece. Perfect.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Okay. So, Anne, would you like to take it from here? And I know you've talked about tuning forks, but I know you wanted us to experience the sound as well.
Yes, sure. I just wanted to throw in that Anne-Marie's Om Shant on Bandcamp is beautiful. I listened to it. It's highly recommended.
Thank you, Anne.
So after the beautiful chanting we've experienced, it was great to explore the journeys down into the Mother Earth and then up into the cosmos. I wanted to follow up with a nice earth coherence meditation, which I will be guiding you in. And I will be also using the sound fork, the Om sound fork, although it's a very, very subtle frequency sound, so it will not travel through in sound. But as you sit in the meditation, just feel into the vibration, the frequency that is going to be accompanying my voice. And I'm sure it will reach you and it will bring you in a nicer, a deeper place where coherence will happen in your heart center, but will also regulate your nervous system, so you'll feel that grounding system much more strongly. So I invite you all to remain seated with your feet flat on the ground and close your eyes for a moment and just take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And just a regular exhale first, just to arrive back into the here and now. And also I invite you to place your both hands on your lower abdomen. This way we can really bring energy and focus to our first two chakras, which are our connections with the Mother Earth. Our mother, how we call it in many traditions, Pachamama in the shamanic tradition, or Gaia. And just as you sit, take another deep inhalation through the nose. And your next exhale may be a little bit deeper and longer. Just exhale longer will automatically bring you in that state of deep relaxation. And now just allow your body to feel, just allow yourself to feel the weight of your body on that chair. Simply be and let gravity hold you. Inhale and exhale nice and deep, and bring that exhalation all the way down to your feet. And now imagine beautiful, strong roots sprouting out of your feet, traveling down the earth's crust into all the layers of the dimensions, into the heart center of Gaia, Pachamama, where you are met by a beautiful golden light frequency, a nice healing, grounding frequency. Inhale, exhale. And as the frequency of the tuning fork vibrates through your body, through all your nadis, your meridians, your cells, your DNA, you may now accompany that feeling by once again just saying one soft Om. You may say that internally or out loud. In honor and gratitude of your life on earth, of earth being our host, and the cosmos holding it all so beautifully together. And as you resonate with your frequency of Om, just know that you are not separated, not separate from earth, not separate from the cosmos, but you are a unique expression of it. And with that awareness, bring gratitude by saying 3 times, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just sit with that for a moment and feel not only the earth beneath your feet, but the energy of love all around you. As above, so below. As within, so without. And with a big smile on your face, you may start to just move your body a little bit. Roll those shoulders. Wiggle your toes. Inhale. And bring that great feeling back into your chair.
What was really interesting, Anne, was I could feel the fascia coming from my left ear and wrapping around my throat over to my right shoulder. And I've never experienced that before. So I'm sharing it in case other people had experiences within their body of being aware of different tissue that might not have had that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I'm sure, the frequency that accelerates that movement, because the fascia are very responsive to frequency, obviously, moving that. Yes.
Yeah. Really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, Anne-Marie, that you noticed?
It was actually just the richness of connecting to Earth. I felt the energy running through my body and connecting with the energies of Earth below. So it was a really wonderful resonance. It awoke my own Earth resonance, really, and gave me tingles in my hands and some of the tingles and through my feet and my body. So I could feel those sensations while you were working with us. And thank you.
I think what's also interesting is, we could hear the Tibetan bowls, we could hear the Shruti box, but I could hear when you hit the tuning fork, but I couldn't hear the resonance of the tuning fork. But we don't need to hear it. We just need to let it wash over us, really. But then for people to realize that's what happens with other sounds. So some sounds are going to mute us, some sounds are going to bring us alive. And it's being able to tune into those ones that really bring us alive. So I appreciate that we could have the experience of the frequency coming through the body, but not hearing it. Yeah.
And just to add to that, when we're working with chant and mantra, it doesn't actually have to all be outspoken and sounded out loud. It has as much value and it can be felt vibrationally through the body, even if we do it silently within ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. I feel that when I'm doing Tai Chi sometimes. If I have trouble falling asleep, I'll do Tai Chi in my head, and it's the same kind of thing. Because as soon as I go to do that very first movement, my body goes, oh, I know what you're doing. And then the deep breath comes in, expansion happens, and off you go. The body's recognizing it. Okay. So let's move us into trust and inner power. And what I'm going to bring here is I need a sip of something, but I'm going to invite you to go to your water, your tea, whatever's been infused, and let's just capture everything that's happened for us in this episode today. There we go. Beautiful. So something profound has been happening as we've been unfolding this trilogy, but really in what you've been able to experience today. And this idea is that we're not separate from the universe. We are an expression of it. and it requires trust in ourselves, trust in our inner knowing, trust in unfolding. Anne and Anne-Marie, if we take just a moment now to think about how we connect to that inner power, do you want to maybe share how you go about the day reminding yourself of that inner power and that connection to the universe? I think that might just lend a little bit for people to realize their daily practice. Anne-Marie, do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, I think part of it that makes it easy for me is that I'm a musician. And so sound takes me into those quiet places. I'll be going through my day and I'll realize that I'll be holding tensions, things around me may be a little bit more intense. And so when those moments come up, I go to my breath. That's automatic. And so I'll breathe in, breathe out. The other thing is to ground and connect my feet to the ground. But there'll also be a part of the day where it's like, I think I need to go to the piano and sit down and play and release some of that tension, those emotions, and bring myself back to a neutral place. But also working with the voice in chant, even just a moment. Even driving the car, I've done it. It's like sometimes you get a little bit upset by the traffic around you or not getting somewhere you need to. So it's holding that intention and just allowing myself to chant. And there are a variety of different chants that I work with as well. So those are some of the ways that just in different moments throughout the day, in different ways, I tap into that place of connection and reconnection with myself so that I can then step out into the world in a grounded way, and have grounded responses to whatever's going on in the situations.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And how about for you?
Yeah. Well, I got two books full of tricks, but my one go-to I really now use every day, which I found is very easy and very powerful, is obviously to close your eyes and just come back to the moment, the here and now, because we do get carried away and worry does slip in the mind. So I just close my eyes, and then I use the 369 rule of gratitude, which means every morning when I wake, I take that moment to say 3 thank yous, gratitude for whatever in that moment I have, and just realizing that. And I do that the same in the afternoon, but 6 times. And then at night before bed, I do it 9 times. And it just keeps me in my awareness of, yeah, there's so many things to be grateful for, even just to be breathing and being, healthier. Yeah, it can be anything, but that just really helps shift that frequency back up and just to shift your whole daily experiences. So that's a very easy tool that everybody can apply, but that is very effective, and you will notice the change quite quickly.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And I enjoy, I've built my week up so my Tai Chi weaves in and out of my week. And to practice on my own, I can do it, but it's not as exciting to me as being in a group of people. So I love going to my Tai Chi classes and being a part of the group and practicing that way, which, like I said, when I can't sleep or things I might do in my head, I might also just break out in a little bit of movement while I'm doing meetings and things. So I'll have different positions that I'll sit in or different ways that I'll move where on a Zoom call, people can't really see what I'm up to, but I am always energizing. And gratitude flows in and out of my day as well. And tea. And that tea can be for myself, choosing a specific intention of the kind of tea I want to be participating with. So like my mission for change today and creating that community piece. And I always take tea wherever I'm going. And that gives a conversation and an opportunity for others to stop and be grounded and centered before we go into an activity. And the last thing I'll say is I always keep in mind that every interaction is a healing interaction. So no matter what's happening in the day and how quickly we're moving to different things, I try to remind myself as I'm interacting with people, this is for our healing mutually. And that's how I like to keep things going too. All right, so there are a lot of ideas in the three of us just sharing what we do. And so the day and how it unfolds for you can be a choice. And if you choose to add activities in, that's the choice you make. But if you also choose not to add activities in, that's a different choice. So then what does that mean for you and where can you go? So with that, I believe we're going to go into a trust and expansion meditation that I'm going to lead. And Anne-Marie's going to be bringing Om in underneath. So we're going to bring this collectively together. And so I'll invite you to close your eyes again for this experience and just sit comfortably. Notice where there might be some tension in the body and just let it fall away. And if you want to say your ohms with Anne-Marie, and I'm sure Anne will be singing in the background as well, then feel free to bring that in. And as that tension is releasing from the body, or you're noticing how much more energy you have from all that we've done today, then bring it in, acknowledge it, give it a little bit of thank you, and we'll go from here. You ready there, Anne-Marie?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to work with the Tibetan bowls this time.
Okay, perfect. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your body grounded and present. Now imagine your breath expanding beyond your body, expanding into your biofield and beyond, into this space around you, so that you are not contained, you are connected. Now bring in a simple intention. I trust. You can say it silently or aloud. I trust my body. I trust my path. I trust the unfolding. Now imagine the universe is breathing with you, not separate, but through you. You are open and you are limitless. Sitting in the frequency of the universe, consider 3 points of gratitude that you can bring forward now. And when you're ready, let a nice deep sigh open everything up. And you can bring your awareness back to the present. What we would like to leave you with from the end of this trilogy and the experiences of today is a living practice. We don't want what we've shared with you today to just end here as you're ending the listening, but we want it to continue in your daily life. So we would invite you to return to these practices, maybe bookmark this episode or all 3 episodes and the pieces we've embedded within. Explore your own healing arts. Spend time in nature. Experience sound baths if you have those being offered in your community. Ground yourself in the earth. And let this not be something that you've heard, but something that you want to live. A collective moment. And for us, resonance rising. We're going to invite you to participate with us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. in your time zone, to just bring some of that global toning together, whatever way you want to bring resonance in. We've talked about a lot of different ways that we use it, and you choose what works for you. But if you just earmark Wednesdays at 7, together across all of us and all those who participate in this, we'll be able to bring forward that resonance that we've all remembered and allow that to go out into the universe and match up with others who are also resonating and sharing at the same time. We also would love to invite you to create a simple challenge for yourself. And this we'll put up as a separate posting, but this is a 7-day frequency reset. On day 1, just listening deeply. Might be go out into nature, listening to the sounds around you, listening to the sounds within your home, listening to your breath. On day 2, toning for 2 minutes. Consider the sounds that Anne and Anne-Marie have shared with you. Choose something that you enjoy, and then allow 2 minutes to just let that come up within and see how you feel. On day 3, blessing water. Anne has showed us different ways across each of the episodes that she's infused her water. How can you do that as well? And maybe it's the bathtub as you enjoy a soak. Maybe it's in the shower as the water's coming over you. Maybe you're lucky enough to live near a lake, a stream, or an ocean that you can be thinking about the water that surrounds you. On day 4, we have nature listening. So taking a walk, putting your feet on the earth, spending time, some designated time in nature, connecting. What do you hear? What do you taste and smell? What do you sense? What do you feel? Bring that back with you into your day. On day 5, a gratitude sound. Is there a note, some humming? Is there a way that you want to say thank you? Bring that into your day. And as Anne had shared, her 3-9-6 pattern. Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. How you can bring that in. Is that correct, Anne?
369.
369. Perfect. And maybe that'll be the way that you start to bring more of that gratitude in. On day 6, we invite you to breathe with coherence. Think about how you are connecting with your breath to everyone else breathing at that moment. And that'll include the plants and the animals, as well as us humans. On day 7, the collective tone. And maybe you bring Om into anything that you're participating in, before a meeting, before working on a project. See where you can bring that collective tone in, and how does it change the way you react, participate, create, or inspired. As you engage in that 7-day frequency reset, we invite you to journal a little bit about it and then share it with us. So you can go to our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel at Michelle Greenwell, to the podcast playlist. You can find this episode. We would love for you to start sharing in that episode what's happened as a result of doing that frequency reset. Beautiful. Now, another way you could participate with us is send us a tone. You've maybe found something that you enjoy working with. Maybe you're a musician. We would love for you to share that tone with us. And you'll have all of the ways to contact us. You can choose who you'd like to share it with. Also, if you've gone out, and in the last episode, we recommended that you record a soundscape of nature. And if you have done that, bring it back and share it with us. It would be lovely to hear what you hear and your connection to nature. And lastly, tag someone who needs some harmony. Include a friend. Bring in someone that you met that's struggling a little bit. And together we can send that resonance out and start to help spread that healing vibration. The more that we share these experiences, the more that we all grow and are enhanced. All right. As a final word, Anne, is there anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
No, I think I'm all balanced and a bit speechless for that moment. I just have deep gratitude for you, Michelle, Anne-Marie, for being part of this amazing work. I feel really a strong resonance and a strong connection to all listeners. And I feel this is a start of something a lot bigger to ripple out. So it's beautiful. So thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Anne, and I agree with you. Anne-Marie, anything you'd like to say?
Actually, yes. A thought on breath coherence on day 6 that you were talking about that went through my mind. I often teach a breath exercise, which is feeling the breath of our body, but then going out and sitting with a tree and realizing as you breathe out carbon dioxide, the tree is breathing in your breath, and then it is breathing out oxygen, and you are breathing in the breath of the tree. So it's a beautiful symbiotic connection just to acknowledge, when we're sitting and breathing, where does that oxygen come from? So I wanted to put forth that idea as well.
That's beautiful. And in Tai Chi, we do toyus with the trees. And I've often thought of it as the energy exchange, but I never was thinking about who's breathing and who's exchanging that oxygen, carbon dioxide. Beautiful. Thank you.
And thank you very much for all that you do share, Michelle, and for bringing us into conversation. And I do very much feel connected with the community and with the people who are working with this podcast as well. So thank you for stepping into the work. And again, thank you for all that you do, Michelle, and to bring this work out into the world, while we all continue to hold space for the better well-being of all.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you. So you are not here to force your purpose. You are here to allow it, to live in alignment, to trust your resonance, to participate in the symphony of life. And when you do, purpose finds you. It's effortless, it's natural, and it's beautiful. So as we close today, we all wish you well. And together, when we shift our frequency, we shift the field. Thank you for listening, and thank you for participating. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Be well, everyone. Thank you for listening to Be Well with Dr. Michelle Greenwell. There are a couple of resources I want to just point out. When you go to the website, greenwellcenter.com, you'll have a pop-up window. That pop-up gives you the top 8 easy stress releasers that you can use every day. That's something you can put beside your computer, the bathroom mirror, beside the bedside table. A great resource. Also, my YouTube channel. It is full of playlists with all kinds of different ways that you can activate energy and bring vitality into your day. You can find that when you go to YouTube at Michelle Greenwell. And last, if you're a Linktree person, Linktree, linktr.ee/Greenwell Center. That has all my resources in one spot. Those are for intricate little things that you can't get everywhere. And it's a wonderful way for me to be able to share all the different aspects of the kind of work I do. So thank you for listening. Be sure to drink that tea. And if you want to have the tea blend that was shared in the podcast today, then be sure to check out capebretontea.ca. Have a wonderful day.